So yes, I'm
I
gonna back.
think I,
No feeling
I,
guilty about the 85% that they hired you
oh,
to
no,
do
no,
that
no,
job.
no. I'm feeling guilty that I work for a company that
Yeah,
pays me a wage,
yeah,
which is, what most people are trying to get away from these days, including me.
yeah.
I guess I'm allowing my fear of I'm a single person relying on my income,
Hmm.
moving from one thing to the other again, and is a little on the scary side. I'm not gonna lie, because I get paid a good wage. So yeah, but I'm more and more frustrated that I see that what I do is very unique. No one else in our company does it, and I would like to do it myself. So I'm taking those steps towards it, and just
Good.
trying to pat down my resistance around, things that I'm doing. So yeah, yeah. Oh no, that's good. I suppose I know a little bit about your background, but I didn't know that during COVID, that makes sense to me. I still worked during COVID. I still had to hop on a plane and fly to work and, be around people. We were needed more than ever because
Oh,
of the
for sure you
mental.
were. And I was just totally bucking the whole system. I was not subscribing to that wear your mask and stay home and all that kind of thing. I just was,
Yeah,
it was like that was right before that was before COVID even took over, is when I changed and switched to online.
yeah,
It just made it easier for my elderly clients to switch online because it was like it was COVID, right?
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, no, I got on a plane. I earned a free trip to Cancun. I figured out how to get on there.
yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love
Trust
that.
me, I am not. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, that's a
Yeah,
whole other tangent. But
yeah.
so you're thinking about contracting yourself out then, basically.
Yeah, contracting myself out, but also running an online business where, I have, like I said, I had those clients all those years ago.
Mhm.
So I have no trouble building them up.
No.
It's just
So
I
you're gonna teach corporations how to do what you do.
Well, I'm going to go in and workshop
Yeah.
corporations. That's what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
Workshops where then they have accessibility, running the 8-week challenges for them,
Yep.
them not having to rely on a staff member being, present in the mine to actually
Mhm.
do the, most of them have got the scale there, so which is really good. They've got the comprehensive scales, the Evolt scanner, and that's all app based in Australia. So I can
Okay.
actually be connected into each client's results when they hop on the scanner. I don't need to be present. Yeah. So I guess I just wanted to. I know for a lot of people as well too, being in that MLM space, I've struggled a little bit. Like I said to you, when that person wanted to come in and take over all my clients and things like that because she couldn't push me into, the products were great. And I love the idea of the concept of, people not having to go, just be a one-stop shop where people came and trained with me. I did nutrition programs for them. And if, the supplements helped with the imbalances of, what they weren't getting nutritionally. So there was nothing against the products. It was just the ick of MLM. It was a bit icky to me. I'd sit there and I think everyone's going rah, 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 and this is really good. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah, MLMs are great when they're done right, and when they're not done right,
Yeah.
they're like icky, and nobody wants to feel icky.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think that's where we're different here, just because we have so many health professionals. So we do see a lot of the rah-rah, and we do see a lot of the people using the online tools because I mean, if you picked out all the health people and then and put everyone in a room, we would be a smaller demographic than the regular Joe public, right?
Yeah.
So they have to sort of put tools out there for people who have no idea what they're doing, you know,
Yeah.
to get them
Yeah.
going, because we kind of have our own tools. So we can use some of them. I use some of them. Like I put some of them in my story the other day. I did a picture of me with this, and then I, like drinking my juice or whatever, and then just said, oh, hey, it's great. I'm smiling because my favorite happy health and hormones drink, or however I worded it, is on sale.
Yeah.
you know, and then I did a little blurb about that and used a couple other nice pictures. So I do that occasionally but I kind of follow, like, do your own sort of carousel, you know, like follow
Yeah.
your own. It's good when the sales are coming, you know, there's gonna be a sale for every occasion and all that kind of stuff, so you can kind of gear up for that. And honestly, when you have, you know, your clients, you'll have a huge mailing list, I'm assuming, right? So you can send out that to them. It's like, oh, hey, you know, if you haven't heard yet or you're wanting to try, now's a great time. These are the ones that I use. These are what I recommend to my people. It's 20% off, or it's 30% off, or it's whatever. And
Yeah.
I always you know, include in there, hey, if you need some help figuring out what you want to try, like, or order or whatever, like, respond back to me directly, and I'm happy to help you. So,
Yeah.
you know, like, it's just kind of making it a little bit more clinical, but, you know, not doctorish, you know what I mean? Like, just a little bit
Yeah.
more that sort of professional. Like, I mean, Tracy Peterson has her own wellness and aesthetic spa, and she uses the products there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that have businesses and stuff that use them, and you just have to, I think, find out which products that you like that are going to fit in with your offering, and
Yeah.
then put them together in a package.
Yeah.
So what I do is my package includes a package of Amari products. And sometimes they're different for each person depending on what we end up talking about, right? And I have a budget that I budget a certain amount, so I kind of know what I can play with in there. And then I send that out to them. So they've paid me once,
Yeah.
not like, okay, you're gonna pay for my program and then you're gonna buy some products. I used to do that. It's much easier. I can sell more $2,500 programs than I can sell $800 programs and someone buying a $300 pack on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's actually a very good point as well too. So you buy the product in and then sell it as a pack.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're seeing people in your clinic, you can actually, I think, get discounted product and order it to your store, like order it to your storefront. Or what I do usually is I've, you know, talked to them. I have all their stats, I have all their address, I have their date of birth, everything. I go in and I make like a one-time cart link about what I'm
Yeah.
going to purchase for them. I
Yeah.
open it in incognito
Yeah.
and I pretend I'm them. Order
Ah.
it, and I
Yeah.
use my credit card to pay
Yeah.
because they've already paid me for the program, right? So I use my credit card to pay.
Yeah.
It gets shipped to them. They get the
Yeah.
reminder, they get the email confirmation. I let them know. I said, you should be, you know, give me your address. I'm gonna send this out today or tomorrow. You should get an email confirmation.
Yeah.
I always use the same sort of format with their last name to make their password, so I never forget, but I always save it into their contacts so that I have it. And then I just let them know, hey, if you want to check the tracking, here's the password. Just go to amari.com, use your email that you gave me today, and use this password that I created for you. You can check your tracking.
Yeah.
So I
Brilliant.
order it on,
Absolutely
yeah,
brilliant.
I order it on Subscribe and Save so that I get the discount.
Yeah.
It gives them the $10 off, so I'm getting all the discounts.
Yeah.
And then I set it up on the Subscribe and Save, and I put a reminder in my phone to go in like a week or whatever and take my credit card out and take them off Subscribe and Save.
Yeah.
But I let them, like, we talk about products in my program as they're going along. And so that's part of your education is, why am I needing this? Ah, because you have nutritional gaps. Remember the gaps we
Yeah.
talked, you know, and you're reinforcing that. Well, this is for this is for that. This is why we're taking these. They're based in Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine. Got any questions? I can send you the documents, whatever. Here's a product sheet, you know, yada, yada. And then they usually come back to you and say, okay, I need some more protein powder, or I need some more whatever. Okay, great. I can help you order that, or I can, you know, you can log in with that password thing. How do you want to
Yeah.
do that? I'm happy to help you.
Perfect. That's exactly perfect because what I'm trying to do before I leave the current mine site I'm at
Mhm.
is the guys keep saying, "Oh, can you bring some product in for me next time you come in?" So I can actually just set up their profiles incognito because I've run out of I went into Edge. I've been in Chrome. I'm running out of browsers to go into where it
Yeah.
won't try and log me into, because Amari's has very good
Very good
systems.
retention on that, right? So you just use
Yeah.
incognito and then
Yeah.
close out all the incognitos when you're done, and then the next person incognito
Yeah.
again. But I just make that one-time cart link with their name
Yeah.
already attached to it,
Yeah.
incognito. It opens up and I pretend I'm them. I fill it all in, but with my own credit card, and you're good to go. Just
Yeah.
remember so that you go back in and you take it out, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, and when I do my credit card, I don't know how it does in Australia, but it'll say, is your address the same as the credit card? And I just say
Yeah.
yes, and it keeps their address. It doesn't ever flag my card.
Yeah.
So that way
Yeah.
nothing has to be changed, except I just go in there and cancel their subscribe and save and take my credit card out. And then when they do want to make an order, now their credit card, it's a one-time thing, but they do an order. I help them with it if they want. But now it's added in there. So now I've got that extra customer service of it's saved. So anytime they want something, I can do the order for them. Because I
Yeah.
know their email and I know their password and their
Yeah.
credit card's already in there.
Okay. Now, the other thing I was going to ask you is, if it's a one-time one, do you have to redo the card again?
No.
No. You just
Oh,
keep
sorry. If
using
it's a
it.
one-time link, yes, you will have to redo the card. You'll have to
Yeah.
just make another one-time link. Because I was just been doing it like, but I mean, if you're giving them all the same thing, then you might want to
Yeah.
make a template,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I sometimes change the things. And so,
Yeah.
because like, well, you have the global shop too, right? So sometimes if I'm just going to give someone Happy Juice, I can do it just for Canada. But if I'm putting
Yeah.
protein powder with it, I have to do the global shop because I can't do it all together unless I do
Yeah.
global shop, right? So
Yeah.
I just use the one-time link because I'm talking to one person at a time. I'm not doing a massive group. And
Yeah.
so I get off the call, or they've paid, I get off the call and I just do it right away. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's really good. That's knocked out one thing, which is really great. So
good.
yeah.
Good.
And that's what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on the mining industry because I've literally worked on a lot of different sites. So I've actually helped thousands and thousands of people because, that's my thing is vibration and, uh, mental health. I've been doing mental health with them for a long, long time, like over 7 years now.
Yeah.
So I pretty much, well, I've found one suicided person, but pretty much got on top of people really quickly before, the interesting thing was, in the challenge, I get them to fill out an information afterwards, or a feedback on what they've improved on. And one of the young guys that we would never have picked up was suicidal.
Mm.
Um, he had an addiction to Facebook and Instagram, and his short-term memory was getting worse and worse. But the sort of guy that used to come into the gym and he's, "Hey, Ange, how are you? Nice looking, fresh face young man." What he wrote in afterwards, from when he started to when he finished, it just made my heart realize that this is what I really love doing, is people really open up to me and tell me things. And what I give them, I told him to journal. We put him onto podcasts instead and YouTube. He's like such a different person now, and he's got back into his running again. He'd stopped running because he was tired. He was reaching for sugar and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good. I always feel it's a privilege to do what you and I do with
Yeah,
people.
it
Like,
is. Isn't it amazing
it,
to see how they turn their lives
yeah,
around? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
just
That's
love
what
it.
oh, I got shivers then.
Yeah.
But
Me too.
yeah. Oh, thank you, Tanya. Do you know, I just got in my own way a bit. I think that's what happened, and I wanted to really meditate on it and say, oh, these stories I'm sort of telling myself are not really great. So how can I move past this? Angie's great. She's always going, "Oh my God, you should just go out and have your own business. People love you."
She's really great. I love her.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is such a great friendship. I wish we lived closer together.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Our
Oh, well,
team.
thank you, Tanya. I know you're really busy and everything. I didn't want to take up too much of your
Oh,
time, but
no,
that
no worries at
was
all.
absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for
Oh,
sharing, what you do as well, too.
oh, you're welcome.
That was really
Because
good.
I just think that we should share when we find things that work. And so I tried different things for a long time that didn't work so well. And then actually I ended up getting some great advice from Carrie Lupoli. I don't know if you remember her, but
Yeah.
I ended up helping her do a whole lot of closing with her clients. And so I got a really good snippet into like hers is the same coaching, but at scale. Like it's a behemoth. And
Yeah.
so I got some really great insights from that. And one of them was about the putting the products and everything together. She does it in a different way than I do it because she has them shipped to her house and then she packages them up in her old branded box and she sends it off. I don't want to be a shipper. I don't want to be a
No.
shipping agency. And I
Yeah.
just tell them it's coming from a company called Amaria, and I just tell them,
Yeah.
and I have no problem. So
Yeah.
that's where I am because I don't have staff. I am the staff. I don't know if I
Yeah.
want staff. I'm deciding on that yet, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many good things you can get these days, assistance and everything like
I
that. So
know. Yeah. Well, I have one VA, so I guess I kind of have a staff, but just one. She helps me out with a few things. But
yeah.
yeah, so I'm glad it's helpful. That's great. And I think anytime
Yeah.
we find something that it works well and that, especially I did things that sort of that weren't working for a long time. And when I figured out things that were working, it was like I said, I can sell way more high ticket programs than I could lower ticket programs. And then if they had to buy things twice, they just don't want to do it.
No, and this is the thing, they don't.
Yeah.
It's like that's what I
It's
get a lot of the time.
psychological. I'm paying for
Yeah.
two things. Like, why can't I just, they're used to Amazon, right? You put everything in the cart and click.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we just have to make it work that way. And then they like it. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And then it's not really your responsibility for a long time because if they're can become continuous users of the product, then like you said, it's conversations about what is this product doing? Why do I need this?
Right.
That sort of thing, that they have that trust already with you. And then they put, they might go, no, I'll just put my credit card in there and
Yeah.
do it. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
just
you have
some
such
all
great
the time.
stories. You have so
Mm,
many great stories about what you're doing with people and how, I mean, if you've been able to help them even more by
yeah.
adding the products, clearly, I mean, I would assume that's why you're doing it. So now that's
Yeah.
the other story you can tell them. We were getting great results before. Once I added this, this is what happened. That's why everybody gets now this package with my program.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
Just tell people why you're doing something for them because you're doing
Yeah.
it for them.
Yeah.
And go ahead and tell those stories about that young man. That's just awesome. I mean, I have an 84-year-old lady who just jumped on board with me a couple of weeks ago and got her off of like, her the stupid cereals first thing in the morning and all the garbage stuff and
Oh.
right? Oh, please. Got her, having her protein, she's having her shake. She came to me because I'm happy with her doctor. He said, I'm not going to put you on medication yet. I want to see if you can do it with food. Hallelujah. Like that never happened.
Oh.
God bless
Wow.
him. Anyway, so
Yeah.
she's trying to do it with food and her numbers are going down. She's only been doing it for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And
She's
that's
84.
awesome. 84. Oh, see, you can always change yourself
You
at any time.
can.
So
So I
yeah.
love that, it's so, you're right. When we can make those differences they're really significant. They're small things, but they're significant in the big picture. And when we can, you drop that ripple in the pond, the pebble in the pond, and you're creating all those ripples, you can help so many people. So I agree with Angela that you should do your contracting because you're going to make more money. You're going to be
Yeah.
more effective as
Yeah.
well because you can be in more places because
Yeah.
you're going to have a program that's unique to you that now you can sell the the workshops to those places.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've got a friend that she's just signed up as a brand partner. Her and I were going to collaborate together to
Oh,
run,
good.
workshops. She's got that sort of a background. I suppose my mum, well, I know my mum's story is a really big one because my mum, after having me, which was a long time ago, never produced serotonin again.
I
And
remember hearing you
again,
say that. Yeah.
yeah, they put her on Valium,
Oh,
and she's a highly intelligent woman, has very stoic, has been very successful in her life, but never actually seen real joy from my mum, if you know what I mean. I feel she could have just been a bit happier. Um, she's had a great life. She would never say, she's had a miserable life or anything. But the happy juice her friends actually noticed the difference in her straight away. Like she was more social, she was going out. You know, my stepfather died 2 years ago, and he
Oh,
was like the love of her life.
oh,
So yeah, I think that's it. Stories with, the results. And like you said, once you've added something, and that's what people need to hear,
yeah. Why
because
did you
they
add
all
it?
know I'm a good trainer. I'm a good trainer and a good mental health um, coach as well. So it's why I've added stuff. I love that.
Yeah, it's the
Yes.
why, because people want to
Yeah.
know why. Like, what is they want to know, what is this going to do for me? What's the purpose?
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't matter
Well,
what it is. If
the
it's
boys are all interested in the nitric oxide because a lot of them are in their 30s and with their partners looking at IVF and knowing that some of it's to do with them. This is what I mean. They come and have these open conversations with me all the time, which is awesome. I feel really privileged because it's
yeah.
a big thing for these young men to actually come and talk about it. And I just said, well, you want to try the nitric oxide? Sent them the info on it, and they're like, oh, can you bring a couple of bottles in? And then I thought, no, I don't want to be ordering in stuff and be packaging things up and, then having to fluff around. But the system you've just given me is great. It's a
Mhm.
great way of doing it.
Perfect.
You know?
And
Yeah.
did you know, speaking of IVF and stuff, so there's Kayleen that's on the team. She used to be quite a bit more vocal, but her and her husband, they own a fertility clinic.
Oh, I
And
did not know.
they use the triangle. That's probably before you joined us, but her and her husband, who's a doctor, Dr. Andrew. So it's Kayleen Andrew. He's Dr. Andrew. I was on stage with him a couple years back. We had a panel of health pros. Anyway, he recommends in their clinic the triangle of health for infertility, for couples
Okay.
struggling with fertility issues.
That would make a lot of sense when you think of what's in Sunrise as well, too. I
Bring
love
down
what's
that
in Sunrise.
inflammation. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's a condition, it's all inflammatory based, right? So if you can
Yeah.
bring down that inflammation, get the blood flowing properly, absorb the stuff that they need to absorb, it's
Yeah.
going to help. It's not going to hinder. We can't say it's a miracle, obviously, right? But we know that it's going to help. And so many women have had I've had good results with that. I've had people have amazing liver results. Like
Mm,
I had a young gal, extremely overweight, and two doctors told her that she needed to do something like losing weight
mm.
because her liver was in danger. I said, "What did they tell you to do?" That was it. They told me to do something. Just like,
Very
okay,
helpful.
then. So her chiropractor referred her to me. That was the office I was sharing with at the time. And within 6 weeks, I got her liver tested normal.
That is awesome.
She was
That is
balancing her
really,
blood
really
sugar.
awesome.
She was taking the triangle of health.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because my partner, he's been I can't get him. He's coming off the Ozempic, but it's like it bothers me a lot that he's on it. But anyway, I thought rather than, he's lost 15 kilos, but he'd hit a plateau at 13, and I introduced the nitric oxide to him. He was like, oh, what's this going to do? But the good thing for me was he hopped on the scales and he'd lost 2 kilos again. So he said, so then he was like, oh, what's this doing? I said, it's increasing your blood flow, and he's got very low testosterone. He's 140. So it'd be
So,
interesting to see, how
yeah.
he goes. I'm trying to get him to take he's very stubborn. Why do I have to take all this stuff? Why do you take so much stuff? I said, I don't take that much stuff. He looks at the 3 containers of the happy juice. I said, it's one thing. And I said, I need it. My body needs it. I can tell now with food that it's not great food. On the camps, they use canola oil. I cannot stand canola
Seed
oil.
oils are toxic and they disrupt your
They,
endocrine system. It's
oof,
horrible. It's
they're
horrible.
icky.
So
So for me,
the nitro
finding
will
things
help them
that are,
detox from some of that stuff too, right? Because it'll
yeah,
help
yeah,
flush out that kidney and liver thing. So will the
yeah,
restore. It's a good kidney and liver helper outer.
yeah.
But so your partner, does he balance his blood sugars? Like, is he eating enough?
He's eating plenty. He's carnivore. So he loves the carnivore diet. I'm like, oh, where is some fiber in there? But he does one day where we eat really beautiful food. Like I go and get produce that's from the organic farm, make up beautiful salads and things like that. And that's his one day of reset. And then he goes into eating a lot of meat and cheese. So where I kind of go, but he's promised me once he gets down to his goal weight that that's it. He's going to be eating, it's working for him. I do not like the Ozempic. We've had the conversation around that.
Yeah.
So,
It shuts down your digestive.
yeah, I've said that to him.
It
So,
also makes them lose muscle mass. So especially when you're telling me his testosterone is low.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Because you
that's
can
what I've
get
said
that
to him as
number on
well.
the scale down, right? You know
Yeah.
that. But
Oh,
at
yeah.
what percentage? So here's something. Ask him if he's ever had his body fat percentage checked.
Yeah.
Does he go to the
That's
gym?
no. That's
Okay.
the next thing he's going to be doing. He drives a truck all day.
So you can get those little handheld. I've got one in my closet back there. It's a little handheld. You can get it from Amazon. I think it's 40 bucks.
Yeah.
And it checks your body fat percentage, not your BMI, because BMI is a stupid thing and we shouldn't be
Oh, I
using
hate it. I
good.
hate it.
So just get him to check, just say, hey, now that you've lost so much weight, really, you can really dive in and fine
Yeah.
tune your results if you know what your body fat percentage is. Just tell him you were talking to me, you were talking to a nutritionist and someone else, and I suggested it.
Yeah.
Use me. And
Yeah.
then you'll see, right? Because if he needs to be below 17.
Yeah. He's not, I can tell you now.
That's okay. You don't have to
Yeah.
say nothing.
Yeah.
And before he uses it, find a just say, okay, so for women, we should be like somewhere around 25 or less. Men, you
Yeah.
guys should probably be around 17-ish, give or
Yeah.
take. Just be
Yeah.
very kind of vague, right? So he has wiggle room. And
Yeah.
then go, okay, here you go. And that
Yeah.
will say volumes. Cause like I had this lady, it was a lady, not a guy, but she came in, she's the tiniest thing. Like if you ever meet me in person, I'm tall compared to Ange, but I'm like short. I'm 5'2", like I'm little.
Yeah.
And this gal came in, she was 62, she was tiny. She only weighed, I don't know what it is in kilos, but 117 pounds. So like,
Yeah. I work in pounds as well. So yeah.
yeah, pretty small, right? Like she's pretty tiny. But she's telling me my waist is all squishy. Like, so I find out she's eating really great food, but she's only eating twice a day. She's working out like a crazy person.
Uh,
So she's got no muscle mass, right? Like she's switched the body composition. So
mm.
that was when I was meeting people in person. So I give her my little body fat percentage. I said, let's just check that. I said, she was at 34%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
And I've been there, Tanya,
yeah,
not long ago, 6 months ago. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, round the tummy came, the boobs got bigger, and I'm looking and I'm going, woof, I'm like fat skinny,
yeah, it's the
body
imbalance.
fat wise. Mm-hmm.
So eat to balance your blood sugar.
Yeah,
Basically, I coach that 21-day reset that they're doing. I mean, mine's a more comprehensive program, obviously, than what they have in there, but balancing your
yeah,
proteins, fats, carbs, eat that protein first thing in the morning, get it in you.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing with me. That's how I've managed to get rid of 6 kilos of
Nice.
fat and while still putting on a kilo of muscle mass because of my training. But this is the thing, it's great that I've gone through this. I haven't looked at it and gone, oh, this is really negative. I did go into a space where I went, well, how can I be a great coach if I can't even fix this myself? But then I realized, okay, let's have a look at this and break it down, how it's occurred and why it's occurred. So I've been watching my scanner as well. I had cortisol dysfunction because I was so stressed at
Bingo.
work. So I thought, okay, so how can I mitigate this and watch it? And it's been great for me because I love going down the rabbit hole with this sort of stuff. And I believe this has come to me to show me how to help other people, especially women in this position. And
Absolutely.
that's where the products have been really, really good for me. So
And
it's
that's exactly what you need to tell people. Exactly what you just told me. We all
yeah,
have a story, and I think
yeah,
sometimes we don't think our story is powerful enough for whatever
yeah,
reason, you know?
yeah,
Like I wasn't even really telling so much of my story before because I'm like, well, what is my story? I teach people not to diet and balance their hormones, but I never had any hot flashes and I didn't really have to lose weight. And then I'm like, but wait a minute, what was I doing way back when? Like I had inflammation, I had arthritis for 20 years before I learned how to
Wow.
balance my blood sugar from
Yeah.
injuries that I had as a teenager. I could tell you if it was going to rain or snow. It was bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been in the health and fitness industry since 1986. It took 22 years before I met Mark McDonald and learned how to do blood sugar stabilization.
Yeah.
As I learned that, I started having a shake before I went to the gym instead of eating when I got home. I lost
Yeah.
2% body fat in 2 weeks by doing nothing else.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. So that's kind of the story that I tell people. And also, I was counting calories and fat grams because that's what the fitness industry was telling me to do.
Exactly.
Right? So I tell
Yeah.
people that's what I was doing. You can see the pictures. Actually, I just had my slide thing up. I'll show you. You can see the inflammation in my face was like crazy. And
Yeah.
okay, where is it? There it is. So there's one of my slides that I show. Look at that inflammation there on the left.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then after,
You
like
get your cheekbones back again,
got my
don't you?
cheekbones back again, and I wasn't so red.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, now my face is a little bit different here because I had surgery. Um, it was 2 years in December. I had a basal cell removed here,
Yeah.
and then they cut my face from here to here to here,
Yeah.
and rotated my face to fill in the gap.
Yeah. They're clever with the surgeries
They're
these
very
days.
clever with that. So I'm still waiting for the nerves to come back. And if you look at different angles, you can see that there's still like most people can't see it anymore, but it's a little bit of a discoloration in here. It's getting better.
Yeah.
It's going away.
Yeah.
But it's, as the nerves kind of come back to their thing. But yeah, so like no inflammation here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's interesting. We have to figure out what is our own story. And I used to tell people I was the calorie counter. I counted fat grams. They're like, oh yeah, I did that too. You're just more
Yeah.
relatable.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah. And
something
that's the
to
thing as
share.
well too. I was brought up in that same system. And it
Yep.
took me a
Don't eat fat
long,
ever.
long time. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Even avocados. And it's interesting though that a lot of people go the other way. They can eat too much of a good thing. Like I was watching somebody and she said, "Oh, I'm not losing any weight." And I'm watching her shove half an avocado in her shake in the morning. And I'm like, that's too much fat. Like quarter
Yeah. And
tablespoon.
but
That will
even
do
though
you.
they just sometimes don't know how to use their shake,
Yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
understand. Is my shake just protein? Do I need to add fats and carbs? Is my shake a complete meal? Like I believe isogenics is a complete meal. You can't add anything to it. You disrupt the balance. Or do they have something like us where you can have it as a standalone, or you can add some carbs and a little bit of fat to it and you bring up the balance? Like
Yeah.
they don't understand how to use it. I have people
Yeah.
that were putting great things in their shake. And so then I go, okay, well, there's an extra carb, there's a carb, there's a carb, there's a carb, there's a carb.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like they
Exactly.
all of a sudden you see the light bulb and they're like, oh,
Yeah, it's like steak and meats with fat on.
yeah,
Even if you cut the fat off, you've cooked in fat, that's your fat. You don't need any more.
you don't need to.
Don't add any fat to that meal.
Yeah, you
So
don't need to. So, but it's just about as soon as people get it, figure it out. I just tell them once you have the education, that's yours for life. Nobody can take it away. It's powerful.
yeah, yeah.
So you've got so much to offer, and I'm just honored
Yeah,
you
yeah,
reached out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, this has been really good. Thank you so
You're
much, Tanya. I
welcome.
really appreciate you. And it's just, and I believe you're a fellow Gemini as well. So we're coming up to birthday month.
Oh no, mine was in April. I'm an Aries.
Oh, you're Aries.
My
Who's the
sister's a
Gemini
Gemini.
that Ange and I were talking about different star signs that are in the group.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I was
yeah,
April 5th.
yeah.
I
Okay.
just had my
Oh,
birthday.
well, my nan was April 8.
Oh, 57, getting closer to 60 now, but that's all right.
Oh, I'm 58 in June.
Oh,
So,
nice.
like the guys all look at me and they go, "What? How old are you?" Because I'm 5'9", so I'm lucky I'm very tall. So yeah, that's my challenge for this year. I've been recording everything that I've been doing, but again, like you said, if you don't share it, people just don't know. They've always known me as fit and slim. They didn't know what it felt like mentally to actually have something drop in like that, where I was horrified. I was like, oh my God, my belly's going over my pants like the guys I work with. Yeah,
Right?
it just, yeah, it was pretty, but it's been great. The happy juice and everything has just been really good. I'm a little impatient as well too. I said to Ange, I've bought on somebody really, really, she's been very successful in a lot of her MLMs, but her and I are good friends as well too, and I know what she's like. She's got to come to the decision herself, but this has really helped her 11-year-old daughter who's got attention issues. Her daughter's actually asking if she can take the happy juice earlier in the morning, get up earlier so that it
Wow.
kicks in while she's at school. And I just said to her, you can put a little bit in one of these little cases that you can put, the powders in
Yes.
together. Get
Yep.
her to drop it in during the day. Some days she might need two because
She
it's
might.
just,
Or the kids' mood.
yes,
Does she take any of those, the mood stick? Do you guys have that one?
we don't have any of that stuff here. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
always
yeah, I think that
look,
with her
and
too.
I'm actually grateful for the limitation of product we have at the moment, because I think what we have is really great. We've got the triangle of health, we've
Mhm.
got the happy juice, and the powders, like the protein powders,
Yeah.
and the HL5 when it finally gets through customs. Gee, I'm really missing that. I'm grateful for that because I think they're the most important things to get those pillars right. Like I started on the triangle of health, and
Mhm.
I was really grateful I did, because in my background is fibromyalgia. I've never had any symptoms
Okay.
since being on happy juice, and so that to me is like really good. But like I feel that most people, inflammation is the first thing you need to address. As much as I love the happy juice, if it's an affordability thing, I will put them on the triangle, because I just feel like that's where most people need to start, and then they
Exactly.
start
Yeah,
to
no,
feel
I do
better.
the same. You just kind of assess where they're at. If someone's really struggling with depression and whatever, I'm gonna throw them on the happy juice. But if
Mm.
they've got some other stuff, issues, if they don't really have a whole lot of, they're just kind of, yeah, I need to lose weight and they're just frustrated. Okay, fine. I'm giving them some shakes and I'm giving them some Restore and I'm teaching
Yeah.
them about the other products so they can add those on later, right? So I've kind of got three sort of things that I rotate through depending on what the person presents with.
You, have you used the sleep a lot? Because
I have not,
I
because
do
I sleep like I can fall asleep right now if I wanted to. Like in 30 seconds, I can be asleep.
the same.
It's kind of like my
However,
superpower.
the two areas I really want to focus on with the FIFO people, because if we get these two right, sleep, hydration, and energy, they're the
Yeah,
three things I'm focusing on, because they work 15-hour days. They go from day shift to night shift. And yeah, if we can get when I've done programs on sleep, and given them tools for that, improve sleep, making sure their hydration's really good. We're lucky we've got testing kits at work, so we can see
that's good.
where the hydration is.
So do
And
you like
energy.
do you give them Triangle of Health and then a sleep add-on as a bundle?
We haven't got sleep here.
Oh, you don't have the sleep there. Okay.
No, no.
You have the
And
kids
that's
off. You don't have any of the
no,
kids stuff either, do you? Okay.
no, no. I believe we're getting some things come December, but again, I still think it's great that we have what we have, because I feel that a lot of that ticks the boxes to help with sleep. If we start going specific with things like giving somebody sleep, then we're missing the opportunity to kick some goals in the area of the
No,
other
I
underlying
totally agree because the
stuff.
Triangle of Health should really help people with their sleep anyway,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Because
Having the
you're
omega
dealing with
threes
some
at
of those,
night.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
dealing with some of those things for sure. Um,
Yeah.
and then
It's
that's gonna,
interesting. A lot of the sleep stuff that's on the market, I make people like I always research other products on the market, because I'm not one of these people. Oh, this is the only product that will help you. But the problem with a lot of the sleep products that are there, they've got added melatonin to them, which is not great in my.
Oh, no.
I can't take anything with melatonin in it. It has a reverse effect for me. So I can actually speak from experience that melatonin is no good. A lot of them actually having warning signals on them saying that this should not be taken daily. And I'm like, what? What is that? I said, you won't see that on any of our products. You
No,
just won't.
you won't.
It's
You
just,
just won't see that. No. And I remember Dr. Talbot talking about that and the benefits of having melatonin. I took his
yeah,
mental wellness course, right? He was talking about the benefits of melatonin or the not benefits of them, but the studies were showing that it basically gave you like, was it 10 or 15 minutes longer sleep? Like,
yeah,
it's not really a benefit. That's not a benefit.
yeah,
That's not
yeah,
doing anything.
yeah, exactly.
It just wasn't, yeah. And then of course your body shuts down and stops making its own melatonin the more you take it, right? So
It's the same with a lot of these things. It's my partner, unfortunately, before he met me, was in Thailand and got the synthetic cream for testosterone. And I just looked at him and I said, that's just shut your testosterone off completely. That's how it works. I said, so if you do anything, you need to go to the doctor here so that you know you are getting testosterone in your body, that your body understands
yeah.
and will stop the production of it. So yeah, he's got a few things, but we're getting there.
Well,
We're
he's
getting.
lucky he's got you.
Oh, I'd love him to hear somebody else say that because
Well, you can
sometimes
snip this little clip and send it to him.
because sometimes it's like, you know, I feel like I'm on eggshells. He's going, yeah, but why? Why am I like, why does this, you know, he's quite a placid man, but he's like, you shouldn't have to be taking this stuff. I said, I agree with you, but the farmers should be doing a better job of keeping the soil right. And the produce we get should actually taste like food that hasn't been sitting in a refrigerator for 2 years and
Yeah.
then put out on the shelves. I think since taking the products as well too, I'm more aware of if I take a mouthful of food and it doesn't taste as it should. I've gone back to my childhood where fruit tasted really good. My family background, we were the last load of dairy farmers in Western Australia. I had milk straight from a cow. I
Wow.
can't have milk now because they've
I grew up
synthetically
with
altered
milk
it.
from the cow. Yeah, our
Yeah,
neighbors and my cousins had milk cows. We got them. We had a farm. We raised our beef cattle. We like just for us, we didn't have a huge farm. And my dad
yeah,
hunted, so I grew up on wild meat, wild fish.
yeah.
We grew all of our own stuff. We canned it every summer. Like, oh my gosh, we had no air conditioning in my house. We had a 4-level split, and my mom was running this
Oh no.
all summer long. We were canning all this stuff. So I totally get you. And yeah, food isn't the same. I mean, in Canada here, they said that one apricot in 1950, you'd have to have 3 of them today. So it has a
Yeah,
third less nutritional value. They actually
yeah.
pulled carrots out of the soil in Ontario a couple of years ago that had no beta carotene in them.
How is that even
I
possible?
have no idea.
Oh,
But our
it's
government 6 years ago decided that it's okay, we can just reapprove glyphosate again, because there's no studies that show it's harmful. I know, I'm like,
yeah,
what? You've got to be. A whole bunch of doctors on LinkedIn went on a rampage on that one and said they sent their opposition, but of course that didn't help. So
yeah.
yeah, it's just Health Canada is a pain in the butt here, but then they allow glyphosate. So there's just no accounting for anybody's reasoning at all.
Yeah, it's all to do with money.
All
But
of
it's
it.
interesting. I don't know if you've ever looked at methylene blue.
I've heard of
So
it, not done.
yeah, just oof. Again, it came in as the big thing that helped with COVID. It, it's no good for your digestion. What it does to your digestion, disrupting that and killing off bacteria and fungus. It's not just killing off the bad stuff, it's killing off your
The
good stuff as
napalm, like it's
well.
like, psh, yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
the nitro really helps with COVID, actually.
yeah, yeah. I love the nitro. Like
Mhm.
I have the extreme. I have it twice a day. I use it before I train. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a good booster for sure. I
Yeah.
have to
Well,
get some more now.
Karen,
So
it was great talking to you. Thank you so much.
you're so
Um,
welcome.
Yeah.
I should let you go, and I gotta go get dinner started and then be ready for the call tonight. So, because you're just starting
Yes,
your day
I
though,
will
right?
be. I will be on the call because I love listening to the call.
Me too.
Thanks, Tanya.
You're so
Have a
welcome. You have
great
a great
day.
day. We should do a picture.
Yeah.
We do a picture. Hang on. Maybe I'll just do like a screenshot. Oh, then I can't do that with my hand. Hang on. And drive this way. Here we go. Trying to get so I don't see the. Okay, here we go. Smile. Gotcha. All right, then we're both on my
Beautiful.
computer. I'll send it to you. We can throw it in our stories.
Yes. Two gals talking from the opposite sides of the world,
That's
literally.
right. We're having a little health pro huddle here. So we're
Yeah,
doing.
exactly. Exactly.
Awesome.
Thank you so much,
You're
Tanya.
so
You have a
welcome.
lovely evening.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.